Good old administrator.
Okay, the informal meeting for City Commission is called to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Here.
Dr. Estrop?
Here.
Mrs. Houston?
Here.
Mrs. Tackett?
Here.
Mr. Ripp?
Here. Brian.
Yes, Commissioners, tonight we have one work session item, and with us is representatives that are going to discuss the Tremont City barrel fill site and give us a status update. And with US EPA, we have Adrian Palamecu, Jenny Polster, and then Robert Rule from De Maximus, and then I see some other guests too that they'll introduce.
Okay, well, good evening. I want to thank you for this opportunity. We just wanted to provide the commission an update on the site, on what we've been working on and what's coming ahead. So thank you very much for that opportunity. And also we have John Privy as well with GHD, and we have Scott Glum from Ohio EPA. And if you'd like to move the first slide, please. So those are our names, pretty much everybody that has introduced themselves so far. And next slide, please.
So what we're going to talk about today is give an update as to the design of Tremont City barrel fill. We are at the 30% design level, so we've submitted the information to US EPA. They're reviewing it. Ohio EPA is reviewing it. 30% is a level at which we're starting to put together the plans, starting to put together some of the flow charts for how we're going to do things, but the actual specifics are not necessarily in place yet. That will come with our next submittal. Site-wide monitoring plan is a program for us to monitor groundwater and groundwater flow contamination from the site. We did one sampling event last November, December. Our plan is to do two more, one this fall, winter, and one in the spring before we actually start construction activities. So those three baseline events give us a good basis for knowing if we're causing issues during the remediation and construction activities. Yes, sir.
Because we have so many people that may be new to this topic, could you or one of the folks from US EPA tell us what the problem is? What's the problem at the Tremont City barrel fill that you're addressing? Why are we concerned about it?
You want me to handle it? So there are roughly 50 waste cells where approximately 51,000 plus drums were buried in the mid 1970s. It's in an unlined facility. So if the drums start rusting, releasing their contents, it may get into drinking water. It may get into other groundwater near and around the site. So what we're doing is taking steps to remove all of those drums, all of the contaminated soil, and make sure that they are put into a proper disposal facility.
And the reason this is so critical for us here in Springfield, as well as people throughout Southwest Ohio, is this barrel fill is very close to the aquifer that we all draw our water from. The drinking water you have in the city, most of the wells of the farm draw from this aquifer. It's what, Bob, 1.5 miles or so from the barrel fill as the grove lies. So it's very close, and a number of people, including people for Safe Water, other city commissions before us, have been working for over 40 years to get this problem taken care of. And what you're hearing tonight is a status report. The problem is being taken care of, and the money for it is coming from the people who put the stuff in the barrel fill. They're paying to take it out. Is that a fair assessment?
That is a fair assessment, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So as I said, there are roughly 50 waste cells shown up on the site. Each one contains about 1,000 drums, give or take. Again, there's 51,000 drums buried at the site. So go on. It's going to be done in 2 phases, essentially. We're gonna start at the north end, start removing the barrels from the ground. We will move them to a different location. We will do a hazard categorization of the material, a HazCat scan of the materials. Then we'll start bulking them like materials so that we don't mix chemicals. But that will allow us, starting from the north, working south, to go ahead and start building into our phase 1 line cell, put some of the soils back. All of the liquids will be taken off-site and disposed of properly elsewhere or incinerated elsewhere. As I said, we're going to start at the north. This kind of shows the black line inside just the serpentine that we'll use to remediate each of the cells. The cells are roughly 25 to 30 feet deep. So in order for us to get to that depth, we're going to have to angle back our slope. So, what might be a 75-foot wide hole now becomes 200 feet wide because we have to slope back in order to get the equipment down to pick up the drums 25 feet below surface. This is just a depiction of the phase 1 cell. This is a good shot. It's going to show our flow pattern. As we remove drums, we will take them down to consolidation area. This is where we'll store them temporarily until we can get them over into the material processing. Again, we'll do a HazCat on them, and that way we know that we'll store like drums with like drums, like materials with like materials in that second area. The third area will be for our bulk materials that will be transported off-site. So as we generate liquids from the drums and we bulk them together, they'll go into tanks at this location, and then we'll truck them off-site to another facility for ultimate disposal.
Again, you do this 1 barrel at a time.
Correct.
So we take a barrel out, and then you have to determine what's in that barrel, because there will be situations where some of the content should not be mixed with contents from another barrel. So each barrel that's pulled out, you will have to examine and determine what it can be mixed with in order to be hauled off-site. Is that a simple explanation of
That's a great
highly
explanation.
technical work?
Are you looking for a job?
Well, I may be in
in
about
about 4
5
months,
months.
yeah.
Yeah, 5 months. But, so
Yes.
this is not going to be a quick process, nor should it be,
Yes, it's
because
not
one
going to
of
be a
our
quick
greatest
process.
concerns is we don't want the cleanup to cause problems and pollute our aquifer. So the idea of taking it slowly, 1 barrel at a time, becomes critically important, it seems.
It will be 1 barrel at a time. As we pull the drums out of the ground, they'll be inspected to make sure that they're not leaking. We'll be looking for any markings on the drums. We'll be looking for other information that might be contained somewhere around. But those are the things that we do. We'll be photographing each drum. We'll be pulling the HazCat sample. So it's a very slow process. We're hopeful that on our good days, we'll be able to achieve somewhere about 100 drums a day removed. It's going to be a fairly lengthy process. This is kind of busy, but what it shows is we don't have a pointer. You can see where it says the consolidation cell. The consolidation cell originally was permitted for the drums to go down to an elevation of 1085. So what we're doing is leaving about a 5-foot buffer below that, and we're going to pull all the materials out from that. So anything that might have spilled, we're going to pull it off the bottom of the current cell and make sure that all the waste has been pulled out, and then rebuild the cell with liners and other components.
Yeah, so what this illustrates is the primary components of the liner system. So it's what's referred to as a RCRA subtitle C cell, which is a hazardous waste cell. It has a number of different layers. Kind of it's going from the bottom up. It has both a primary, well, it has a secondary layer on the bottom, which consists of 3 feet thickness of very low permeability clay that'll be installed under very strict specifications. Above that will be a 60 mil layer of high density polyethylene liner. There will then be a leak detection system, the primary high density polyethylene liner, and then a leachate collection system. And then on top of that, there's a 1 foot protective layer of soil to mitigate against any direct materials in contact with the liner system. So in a nutshell, following all of the Ohio regulations, exceeding them in certain aspects, but a state-of-the-art cell, constructed with the best materials available. And after everything is placed within the cell, that which remains on site, then there'll be a cap that comes over it, consisting of a series of layers again, beginning with a 12-inch compact subgrade layer, geosynthetic clay liner, another layer of the 60 mil HDPE, a geocomposite drainage layer, and then about 30 inches of soil.
So this is just a short version of the schedule. Don't look at the individual dates. What we were trying to show here is, again, it's a lengthy process. We're going to be pulling drum by drum by drum. There's 51,000 plus of them. So this just kind of lays out that we're going to have probably 3 construction seasons of pulling the drums out before we start closing anything up. Again, the site-wide, you want to jump into this?
Yeah, so one of the obligations under the Superfund program under this site specifically is preparation of a site-wide monitoring plan. What that site-wide monitoring plan does is define, those media that will be sampled prior to the remedial action that Bob's talking about, to create or to identify baseline characteristics of what's currently in the groundwater. As Bob mentioned, there was a sampling event back last fall that positively showed material that the waste was not migrating to groundwater conditions were not worse, but we'll be doing 2 additional events, one this fall, one next spring, to further characterize groundwater prior to the remedial action. And then there'll be events throughout the remedial action to compare against that baseline to make sure that nothing we're doing is impacting groundwater, and that what we're doing is safe and protective. And this just illustrates again, a very busy figure, but the highlighted wells are the wells on site that we will be monitoring as part of the 2 baseline events, as well as throughout the remedial action.
So this was a schedule that we had committed to at the request of Springfield and other core stakeholders to make sure and demonstrate that things are moving forward. And right now, we're on track complete the remedial design at some point in 2026. So the next step after the 30% design will be getting the 90 to 95% design. We're expecting that to be submitted in December of 2025. Those dates are guided by the consent decree and triggered by approval of the current design that we're presenting onto you. You might be wondering why this is taking so long, but after any of these documents are presented to US EPA, we have a team of experts looking at. We have hydrogeologists, geologists, design engineers. Ohio EPA also has a team of experts looking at all of these documents too. So it's coordinating all the comments, making sure we understand that and talking about them with the responsible party group before finalizing the document. So there's a lot of people looking at this. But
So it's also a lot of information. Our 30% design was about 2,100 pages, including drawings and supplemental plans. There's a lot of information for folks to do.
yeah, all the different steps between the characterization of the barrels versus what is the design of the landfill. There will be air perimeter monitoring. What do you do in terms of, if there's a release from the site, how would emergency responders come look at this? Which roads are we going to take to transport waste off site? So there's a lot of different moving components, to make sure that this is done successfully. So right now, we're on track. Things are moving forward, and we're hoping to have design start late 2026. But we will be out here again presenting the final 90, 95%, and 100% design early in 2026.
Are, based on this schedule, Jenny, are you anticipating, Bob, spades in the ground in 26?
I would say the goal would be to be at some point later in 2026, but, it could also be, early 2027. I'd say let's keep that as the goal right now. We are keeping things moving forward.
Right. That's the goal. And I don't want to push it because it's more important that we do it right and take our time. And we know, based on what information you have shared with us and what people for Safe Water have shared with us, is this is a very complex problem. It's not a problem that's easily solved. We're talking 51,000 barrels and taking them out one at a time and not knowing for sure what may be in there. And my guess is that some of the barrels may not even come out in one piece. They've been in the ground for a long time. So I appreciate the fact that you are taking your time, being very thoughtful, looking at all the potential issues that are before us. Do it and do it right.
I'm
And
curious.
as soon as possible. But no, you guys have been great. They met earlier today with the stakeholders group, shared more technical information with the group, and the communications has been absolutely phenomenal. So thank you very, very much.
I was curious, what the cost to the responsible parties, what's the scope, and how much is this estimated cost to those responsible for the dump?
The consent decree has a little over $27 million. That was done those costs were done early on. We're probably well above that.
Sure.
Don't have the exact amount. We're well above.
These are for the responsible parties, not for the city of
There's
Springfield.
no tax dollars
Sure.
involved.
Yeah.
These are responsible party dollars.
Excellent. Thank you. I want to commend Dr. Estrop here, who has really taken the baton from the 40-year baton. I mean, Larry Ricketts and you and the whole group that you all represent to continue to push this forward and get it to this place. So really appreciate you pushing forward on this and getting the EPA and everybody to this place together. I know they want to get this done, but I just thank you for making this alive again.
Happy to do it, honored to do it. And we've been working with some good folks. I do want to mention, because you mentioned, this carries behind it the weight of a federal court order. So there is no question this will get done. It's a matter of record in the federal court. The judge has ordered it. The principal responsible parties have agreed to it, and we're now going forward with it. So, again, my thanks, and we look forward to continuing to work with you and get this project completed.
Other comments from commissioners?
Yes. Curious to know, just for the folks that live in that area, what are the operating hours and how many folks are going to be on site in those work shifts?
Operating hours would be probably daylight,
Okay.
any night. Because, well, it's possible we're going to have 35, 50 people on site doing different. There will be folks monitoring air, pulling drums out that our work is safe, making sure nothing leaving the site. There'll be people doing the hazmat testing of the drums. There'll be people doing bulking of the materials, figured out. There'll be a lot of.
Can you expand upon the safety prevention things that you're working on to keep the people working there safe?
So there's two components to safety. Safety is primary for what we're doing. We want to make sure that everybody leaves the same way that they come in the morning. But we also want to make sure that all of the surrounding property owners have the same benefit. So we'll be doing perimeter air monitoring, sure nothing that we're doing impact air that leaves that airspace, so to speak. We'll be doing monitoring at the drum source, make sure that our workers are safe. We'll be testing the materials so that we know what is going off-site, different facilities. There'll be lots of safety activities. Doing daily safety folks. We will have first responder briefings on a routine basis. Started doing that as we were doing sampling a year ago. We had them up, show them where we were working, under what circumstances they might emerge should one occur. We'll continue to.
Thank you.
Dr. Estrop?
I think it's important also, Bob, to mention the site is not open to the general public. Please stay away from the site, particularly when the work begins, because there are hazardous materials here, and we don't want anyone to run afoul of that. So the site will be closed, and the general public will not have access to it.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all your hard work. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, is there a
Thank
motion
you.
to conclude the work session?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes. Before we begin, we'll give you guys a chance to go ahead and clear out. Before we begin, we have Commissioner Tackett's been asked to make a city proclamation, and I'll let her take it from this point.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to share the proclamation for the Ohio Hope Builders today. So whereas Ohio Hope Builders was officially organized in August of 2024 by Casey Tingley, through their mission of service and compassion began long before the date through years of dedicated disaster relief efforts across cities and states. And whereas the organization has responded to numerous crises, including the 2019 tornado in Dayton, Ohio, delivering water to nursing homes, and the 2021 tornado in Mayfield, Kentucky, collecting and delivering 2 truckloads of essential supplies. And whereas in March of 2024, when their own hometown and later Indian Lake were struck by tornadoes, Ohio Hope Builders quickly mobilized volunteers and resources to assist with the cleanup and emergency needs. And whereas following Hurricane Helene in October, the organization sent crews to North Carolina at least 8 times, delivering food, clothing, blankets, generators, and other critical supplies thanks to the overwhelming community support. And whereas Ohio Hope Builders continues to provide vital services, including supply distribution and debris removal, both by hand and with machinery, and is currently fundraising for a mobile shower trailer to support relief workers, first responders, and individuals experiencing homelessness. And whereas the organization's dedication, proactive response, and community-driven mission embody the highest ideals of public service, resilience, and compassion. Now, therefore, I, Rob Rue, Mayor of the City of Springfield, Ohio, and President of the City Commission, do hereby recognize and commend the Ohio Hope Builders for their many contributions to disaster response, community uplift, and humanitarian service. I encourage citizens to support and join in their efforts to bring hope and help to those in crisis. In witness thereof, I hereunto subscribe my name and cause the official seal to be affixed on the 12th day of August, 2025. Thank you.
Would you like to go say something, Casey? And then if you want to join us over here for a picture, we'd be glad to do that.
First and foremost, thank you. I'd like to give this moment the glory to God, because I often look up in the sky and ask, why me? Why was I chose to lead other people to join hands and help change lives? And a lot of people sitting right here to my left, I met some of the most amazing people just organizing help for others. And I can't say enough about everybody sitting right here. I can't say enough about a lot of people in this community that answered the phone when it rang, and it was us on the other side asking for help. And, you know, I often get a lot of praise, and it's not that I don't appreciate it, but I just hate that it's not normal to be me. I just want to encourage people to please get involved, get a hold of us, we always talk about joining hands and changing lives. And this is Steve Tobin. Steve and I, we started doing this about 8 years ago, and it's become quite a thing. Honestly, I just applied for a nonprofit hoping I would find a building that someone would donate for us to store all this stuff, because after the Mayfield tornado, my garage was filled multiple times, and it was a realization to me that people want to help. They just are looking for where to help, how to help. And I just want everybody to take a moment and think about something, that we're not here forever. We're here temporary. And if you just are by yourself later tonight, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just think one day this is over. So let's come together. Let's help one another. Let's join hands and change lives. And, you know, I just give the glory to God, and some of the most amazing people are sitting right here around me right now, and I'm just so grateful for them, so grateful for the businesses in this community that has come. And I'd only knew Devin Hendricks for probably 3 days, and he jumped in a truck and came with us and recorded a lot of footage, and I commend him for that. And we didn't even know each other very long at all, and he trusted me and I trusted him, and he does amazing work. I appreciate you, Devin, and I appreciate all these people in our community. And I just want to say thank you. And we're going to have a birthday party September 13th at the VFW 1031 on Main Street. We're going to have a big truck out there. We're going to take donations. Ohio Hope Builders, you're here to hear first. We are going to be a filter for resources to help with the Nehemiah Foundation and the Care Portal to help people right here in our own community when we're not doing disaster relief. I got 160 totes full of clothes. I want to put them on people's back. The donations have just been tremendous. And, you know, I've been looking for where we can put these resources for a long time when we're all at work and we're home and we're not doing disaster relief. So come out on September 13th. If you got some nicely used furniture you want to donate, some clothing, whatever it might be, myself, the Nehemiah Foundation, Care Portal, we're going to help families right here in our own community. And we're just looking forward to continue to join hands and change lives. And thank you guys. And thank you for this moment. I appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Don't you all want to join us over here at the backdrop, and we'll take a picture? Anybody would like to join Casey?
You're fine, sweetie, no, not.
Just want to make the opportunity welcome that if, I know you came for the proclamation, you're welcome to stay the whole time, or you're welcome to go ahead and leave. We invite you to stay though, okay? We're going to go ahead and call the formal city commission meeting to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown? Mrs.
Here.
Brown? Dr. Estrop?
Here.
Mrs. Houston? Here. Mrs. Tackett?
Here.
Mr. Rue?
Here, please stand for the invocation and the pledge. Father, we just thank you for the opportunity to be here. We thank you for Springfield. Ask for your peace in this community and ask you to give us wisdom tonight. We thank you for groups and citizens willing to serve their community. In your name, amen. Is there a motion to approve minutes from last meeting?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston? Yes. Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes. So the City Commission remains committed to creating a conducive environment for constructive and productive dialogue and engagement for the community. Those wishing to speak must fill out a card. In doing so, they present a state-issued ID or driver's license. When they fill out the information, they must reside in Springfield or Clark County and will be permitted to speak during the public comment period. Comment cards are accepted 15 minutes after roll call after the start of the legislative meeting. Those that are determined to have provided false information on the card will not be able to speak at this meeting or the next regularly scheduled meeting. We are committed to making the meeting in an environment where people have an opportunity to share ideas, thoughts, and concerns. The commissioners and staff are listening, taking notes, and researching information relative to each of your comments. While honoring First Amendment principles, the City Commission reserves the right to regulate the time, place, and manner of public comments to ensure that proceedings remain orderly, respectful, and conducive to constructive dialogue. While we fully respect the First Amendment rights of all individuals, disruptions or any conduct that impedes the orderly progress of the meeting will not be tolerated. Should any individual be escorted or asked to leave due to disruptive behavior on 3 separate occasions, they'll be notified that they are considered trespass and barred from attending any further City Commission meetings. After the public comment period time, City Commission may respond to matters brought forth at the public comment period, and they'll also direct the city manager and staff to answer the questions posed during the public comment period. If a question asked needs additional information, research, from the city manager and staff, then they're going to follow up with that individual in the next few business days and post those answers online. Now, I understand many individuals are attending tonight's meeting in regards to information that has been shared by previous speakers at the City Commission meeting. I want to remind everyone that we remain committed to providing this opportunity to individuals of our community that share ideas, thoughts, and concerns. In doing so, they're representing their own personal ideas and beliefs and are not speaking on behalf of any of the commissioners whatsoever. Any of the individuals you've seen speak of here, you have to know that we likely don't agree, or if we do agree, we may not fully agree. Nevertheless, they don't represent any of us or the city of Springfield at all, whatsoever, at all. And at times when we don't agree with their statements in these meetings, we do respect and honor the individual's First Amendment rights. We honor those rights. We still have 3 minutes for individuals to speak that and have that opportunity. And in doing so means that the city of Springfield and the commission do honor the First Amendment rights of individuals to speak, as difficult as it may be many times. Thank you. We're going to continue with cards. We're going to start with Barron. Ken Barron Seelig. Is that better?
Yeah, there you
Go ahead, sir.
I need some government funding for hearing aids. Thanks for letting me speak. Man, I was hoping I'd be last, end up being first. I would like to ask everybody on the council, I'm starting early, guys. Let's think about what we're going to do when the polar vortex comes this year. Does the city have any plans to work in conjunction with anybody that is going to do a warming center, such as the one that I did last year? And I guess I'm trying to get the jump on it. And I have a few other things in place if it's needed again this year. But I really need to find out. So I guess I'm officially asking the mayor and city council, to sit down with me and let's figure out a game plan, man. So I don't have 90 days of 24 hours around the clock. My wife is almost going to forbid it this year. It about cost me my life last year, literally. So I guess that's the question. Can we have a further conversation about that? Most of you up there have my number. Give me a call and let's put our heads together now while it's warm and we can get some things in place. And I was shocked that it only cost $6,000 some odd to clean that mess up in the park. And I just want to go on the record as saying a lot of people were angry that I wasn't down there defending the homeless people when that happened. And I'll tell you why I wasn't down there, because for 3 months I was down there every day trying to get them to clean that up. And the action that was there just wouldn't do anything to help themselves. We took rakes and shovels and trash bags and come back the next day and go, hey, where's the rake, the shovels, and the trash bag? I don't know. So I gave up and said, okay, well, you're going to be mad at the city for coming down and doing this, but it's coming. And planning. I want to plan ahead this year so it doesn't almost kill people to make that happen. And I wanted to go on the record as saying, hey man, you got my number, call me, let's figure something out. So again, we don't have a single person freeze to death. Thank you.
Thank you. Danny Daniels?
Diana Daniels. Over the last several months, we have been treated to several protests or solidarity meetings for our immigrants put on by an organization known as G62. I was curious, so I wanted to know more about this organization, G62, and since they are mostly from outside of Springfield and have been making a pretty big ruckus. Well, what do you know? From their website. G62 began at Cedarville University in 2011, October to be exact. G62 gets its name from the 62 references to Gur, the immigrant in Hebrew from the Old Testament. There, however, is a problem with this translation directly. October 2011, students, faculty, and administrators gathered together with individuals from 20 other colleges, this is from their website, by the way, and universities led by Carl Ruby, to hear biblical teaching to raise awareness about the realities of immigration, to equip Christian college students across the country to learn from and minister to and advocate with immigrant communities, to which has grown nationwide. What does the word ger mean? In the Jewish context, ger generally refers to a stranger, foreigner, or sojourner. It can also refer to a convert to Judaism, though the term's specific meaning can vary depending on the context within Jewish law and tradition. In biblical uses in the Hebrew Bible, ger often describes someone who is not a native Israelite but lives within the Israelite community. This can include immigrants, refugees, or other non-Israelites living in the land. The Torah emphasizes the importance of treating these Gerim with kindness and justice. However, the core meaning revolves around the idea of someone living in a place where they don't have full rights or belonging. The word, however, does suggest a temporary stay rather than a permanent settlement. Well, lots of movements, and I'm going to come back to number one because it's a context that's important when we're talking about terminology. Whether or not G62 is using ger in a context which is in keeping with the Torah, it remains up for debate. Wow, there have been lots of movements out of Cedarville, all with a singular goal. We got G62 in 2011. We got Welcome Springfield and the Midwest Consortium for Immigration Research, NGOs, in 2014. We ostensibly got Resolution 5844, making Springfield a welcoming city, in 2014, all tied in some way directly or indirectly to one individual formerly employed at Cedarville University. Those in opposition to mass migration in our community have gone through many oppositions. They've been called racist, haters, Nazis, fascists, and now if we don't bend the knee to love thy neighbor, G62's catchphrase, we are somehow sinning or unchristian. Remember the banner on Villa Road, racism is a sin? I think we have a problem, don't you?
Devon Hendricks?
How's it going? I only came today to talk about, the kind words from Rue last week, 2 weeks ago. Thank you for the words. And I just wanted to say I wasn't speaking about nobody on the board. I know everybody's, when you come, you represent everybody. Just couldn't look at people. And I want to give a shout out to the Ohio Hope Builders, really doing things. I got to witness it. Yeah, got a real good video too for you. He's just a busy man, so hopefully we'll be able to get that soon. So thank you, Ohio Hope Builders. Thank you, Fire. Thank you, Police. Doing a good job. We're moving forward, and I seen it with my own eyes, and that's all I can say. All right, y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Casey Tingley?
I just wanted to take a minute and thank all of you guys. I know some of you have been here shorter times, some of you have been here longer times. I know some of you are on your way out. I want to thank you sincerely. I watched a lot of meetings over the last year or couple years, and we've been through it, and it takes a lot of thick skin to sit where you guys are sitting and get a lot of things thrown at And some people just don't understand that there's only so much you can do. I realize that. I actually told Barron, I hope he wins. I said that way you can spread the rumor that it's true. Your hands are tied a lot of times. You can only do so much. I appreciate you guys. You know, I just want to inspire our community. Listen, it's so easy to sit on Facebook and use our thumbs and say things, whether they're negative or whatnot. So that's the easy thing. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm still learning every day, is started a nonprofit. And the only reason I started that was so I could keep it legally separated from my personal self and my personal life. Because when someone hands me $1, I don't want it in my pocket. I want it in the bank account, and I want someone holding us accountable for what we're doing. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I don't think I knew what I was getting myself into. We was just trying to look for a building. And like I was saying, we're bringing some resources together right now to help people in our community. And the missing piece to the puzzle is a beautiful building, a beautiful warehouse. We're looking. If somebody knows somebody that's got properties. Our pockets are empty. Donation would be beautiful. We're going to do beautiful things. If I got to start fundraising with others, we will. Maybe we'll just build someday. But I know a lot of folks need help, and it's just a little bit of help. And I just hope I can inspire somebody. Just an idea is only as good as the execution you put behind it. I laid in bed for a long time thinking about Ohio Hope Builders, and finally I got online and I had some help from a guy that helped paint up his property. I said, could you help me? This is what I want to do. And I asked him for help. That man's name's Casey Cole, and I thank him for that. And they had a beautiful property hit by a tornado, and we helped clean that up. And they helped me start Ohio Hope Builders. And, you know, let's just come together and help one another. We're here for a short time, not a long time. And it's easy going to Facebook and yelling and pointing fingers, but let's just come together, work together. Me and Steve always say, we can't do it alone, but together we can. And the strength is in numbers. And just like that sign says over there, forward together, stronger together, and together we can. So let's all continue to come together and make a difference and be united as one. Use all of our resources. Aaron Roy, Jacqueline Brown, we got some work to do. I can't wait to show the city what we can do, coming together, working together. And one more time, 14 seconds. Come see us on September 13th, birthday party. We're going to have a great time. Thank you, guys.
Melissa Timberman.
Hi, my name is Melissa Timberman, and I'm speaking on behalf of Heather Williams Sharp, mother of Spencer Sharp, who was the victim in the Lark Street shooting in January of this year. Spencer's murder case was recently included among 42 case studies in the book Bloodlines and Bullets by Beth Donahue. Not one family was contacted for information, and every family with loved ones featured has expressed serious concern over the plethora of inaccuracies, some of which are outright falsehoods. In Spencer's case, the inaccuracies are exceptionally damaging, beginning with a misrepresentation of the crime scene. The book includes fabricated details to force his story into a domestic violence framework, including the false claim that Spencer strangled his girlfriend 4 days before his murder. This claim has no basis in fact. The incident Beth referenced came from a January 29, 2024 police report, an entire year before his death, and involved an ex-girlfriend, not the woman he was with when he died. That case was dismissed after the statement was proven untrue and recanted. Yet Beth used this false report to portray Spencer as likely to kill his domestic partner, an assumption based entirely on fiction that is now out there for everyone to read. While Spencer was not without faults, he was a devoted single father, raising his 18-month-old daughter alone. A month before his death, he helped 20 families provide Christmas gifts for their children. He was known in his neighborhood for helping those in need. He paid utility bills, bought food, and covered rent. The month before he was killed, he even fed one of the individuals that was accused in his murder because they came to him and said they were hungry. Spencer's life was defined far more by his generosity than by his mistakes. Beth Donahue had a genuine opportunity to shed light on the devastating impact of gun violence in Springfield, the way it rips loved ones away from their parents, children, and friends. Instead, she chose to demonize victims and their families, replacing compassion with blame. Many cases in the book are only a few months old, and have not gone to trial. They're still pending. These families are in the rawest stages of grief. Spencer's newborn son is his namesake, and he's going to face stigma and bullying. The victims' stories weren't told. The perspectives of the victims' families were never considered. The only voice represented was Bess and her predetermined narrative. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, or do you have, no, I'm sorry, the lady behind you. Do you have a card? Okay, are you Deborah? Okay, would you please come up and speak then? Thank you. And then David after her. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Amanda Ovando. I am here as well for the book Bloodline and Bullets. Justin Smith is my brother that was missing last year for 53 days. I just want to name the 42 victims. Randy Graham Jr., D'Amico Taborn, Tiffany Smith, Tiffany Burglar, Camille Golden, Philip Regal, Keishyla Collins, Nevaeh Thomas Stewart, Tamisha Reed, Joshua Tackett, Nagomi Kane, Darrell Welford, Kevin Valto, Melvin Bell, Raquel Flower, Shaheem Gibson, Rakeem Ford, James Gilman, Gregory Allen Wells Jr., Richard Bell, Brittany Ann Hicks, Darren Pollock, Roderick Fudge, Tiffany Higgins, Dale Cypress, Richard Howard, Justin Smith, Mariah Green, Rodlin Akron, Killia Bentley, Brian Henshaw, Spencer Sharp, Trey Mays, Brett Love, Collis Parks Jr., John Hungerford, Edward Ellenham, Michael Minter, Thomas Gill, Darren Stanford Jr., and Kyle Harris. Our trial will not be fair because of this book either. Our trial's coming up soon. This isn't fair. This is hurting our families. We want it removed.
David,
First of all, Rob.
you come with the mic. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Rob Root, Tracy Tackett, I appreciate you guys coming out to the march. I didn't see the rest of you guys out there, but that's okay too. I stand in the gap for my son, Randy Graham. Okay. He deserves a fair trial. That boy would give you the shirt off his back. He's done a lot in the community. He's helped a lot of people. Now, all you 9 stood, turned your back to us, and did the same thing we did, justice for all. I'm asking the city commissioners put their foot down and stop this. She's got another book coming out September 1st, September 11th with our grandkids in this. This is not fair to us. We're asking you guys to stand in the gap for us so our people can have a fair trial. This is not fair to us. You know, we do a lot. Guns Down Bible Up Ministry, the Fudge Foundation, we've been doing a lot in this community to get this to settle. But we can't do it when we got people coming up here giving false accusations. After the meeting I had with you guys, we found out they were giving out false accusations. They're making this town go into John Wayne mode. Everybody's wanting to saddle up with guns. That's enough. I'm asking you guys to put an end to this book, destroy it. Please, we're begging. Our families have been through enough, man. What do we have to do? One of our family members go off? You guys already seen it, I'm pretty sure. When we were doing a march, her husband started punching on people in the march. She's got bruises from it. And this is the man that's running for your job, Rob? Come on, man. I'm asking you guys, put an end to this book, the book on September 1st, September 11th. Stop them so we can get fair justice for our kids, man. Please.
Deborah Knight.
Hello, it's Kite, but thank you.
I'm sorry, Deborah Kite.
That's all right. I used to work for SCAT, and I'm a little concerned about the Springfield is not listening to the community. We put over 400 petitions out to the city for things that they did nothing about it. The field trip is not serving the disability very well. There's a lot of people with wheelchairs, and they're telling them they have to go quite a far away to get buses.
Just a minute, ma'am. I'm sorry. Those of you leaving, if you could stay for our comments, I would appreciate it. Would you be able to stay for our comments? Okay. Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. I didn't take it. Want to make sure you come back in for our comments, which will just be in a few minutes. Thank you. Ma'am, go ahead. I'm sorry. And you,
Had reports of their power chairs didn't fit on the van, and they were not helping them or assisting them. And there's ADA customers that have walked several blocks that can't see, as they're telling them to get the field trip. And I'm just a little concerned about the community. I went round and round talking to people, and I didn't get any answers from people from building here. The workers who have served Springfield for many years have been laid off by TransDev. Springfield needs to listen to and live up to the 13C that Springfield City has been involved in with the ATU. I think.
thank you. Angela C. Angela, there you go.
I'm Angela C. And also I wanted to say God bless each and every one of you. I'm also here about the burn book. My son's listed first, and it's really put an impact on our family, and I'm asking you guys please to please get rid of it. There's 42 people in here. My son was shot and killed, cold-blooded. Please get rid of the book, and thank you.
Tom, could you see if the folks that have spoken about this book can come back in while we're doing comments, please? Thank you. If they're out there.
Mayor, if that's the end of
It is. If you want-
speeches,
I have
can
comments
have,
about that. If you want to talk about SCAP first, please.
yes, I can have, if Jason Vi wants to speak to the ADA paratransit side that exists still as part of field trips. And then I also would ask Logan Cobbs, our community development director, to talk a little bit about the planning that's going on around homelessness for the winter.
Thank you for your question. The field trips program is ADA and paratransit compliant. All the drivers receive training in advance and understand how to work the wheelchair access and the vans. I can assure you also that we are ADA compliant with our website and our materials, and have rail materials on the way as well.
Thank you. This is Ms. Cobb. Thank you.
Good evening, Logan Cobbs, Director of Community Development. So definitely want to start out by saying I appreciate Barron's feedback on the need to be proactive in anticipation of the winter. And I agree, we agree. And I want to assure both Barron, the commission, and the community that we're actively and proactively working on this. Conversations and planning are happening behind the scenes, and really hopeful for some strong collaboration this year, whether that be with the Nehemiah Foundation, the Salvation Army, Sheltered Inc., Barron, and your list of volunteers, just to name a few. But we'll continue to keep the community abreast as plans are solidified.
Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to make a comment from myself about this foolishness, okay? And when we see things the same way you guys see them online. We have no control. Anybody can jump on, chat, create a book, throw a bunch of information, and publish it. That's the way the world is today. We don't even have a right for those things to be taken down. We cannot make those things be taken. I would have loved to have done that. Can you imagine how many things I would have loved to have not heard in here, the commission, or the other things that were said about any of our commission, the city, over the last year? We had no control over that. And so within this particular individual who took it upon themselves to make a spectacle out of the city based on information they may or may not add, incomplete or complete, I don't really care. It caused a lot of problems, and I hate that for our city. I did see the videos, and I hate this. But in no way can you put this book on the commission like we've caused something to happen. I'm not saying you are, but I just want to make that very clear. We don't approve of any of this stuff. I don't. And no, please don't speak from there. David. David, I'm going to have to ask you to please calm. Let me speak. You had your time to speak, okay? Yeah, I'm just going to read this. This is good. So in the United States, the local government's ability to stop self-publishing of a book is extremely limited due to the First Amendment rights protections. That's not something we're hiding behind. That's something that somebody like the individuals that you're complaining about could step right on up here, talk to our law department, file some lawsuit against us that would actually fly. So I'll let you, you want me to read the summary? Okay, in summary, just someone providing information. The local government has virtually no power to stop an individual from self-publishing a book in the United States. Their primary involvement would come after publication if the book's content violates existing laws. That sucks, but that's what we're up against. So, David, please don't speak from there. I want to keep order in the meeting. But I just want you all to know we hear you. We're frustrated with you. We are frustrated with you. And know, Miss Crystal, you want to say some things? Go right ahead.
I would love to. I empathize with y'all on a whole nother level, right? Because again, it's the same individuals that come and have come for a week, bi-weekly, for the past year and some change, that many times have felt attacked, lied on, misunderstood. And it seems like for some people, it's all fun and games until people are making threats on your life, threats on your husband's life, your parents, all kind of wild stuff happening to you that you've never experienced because one person wanted to get up and lie. And then you saw an entire community come out to support that lie on a national and international level. So I understand the inability to, to have your hands tied when somebody's lying on you, when someone's misrepresenting you. I cannot fathom what it would do to me if it was someone who I loved that was taken away through an act of violence, especially when a particular group of people openly advocate for anti-violence things. So even in situations where we've provided certain individuals with multiple work sessions, meetings with prosecutors, myself, with Mr. Rue, you know what I'm saying? Face to face, open and honest, but we'll still come back and take 3 minutes to say all the things that never happened or not true about what we said and things of that nature. That is all the reason why I'm not running again. Because again, I understand you saying we need you to stand in the gap, but legally, there is nothing we can do to prevent someone from self-publishing a book. That is her protected right according to the First Amendment rights in this country. I would love for if Jill has any idea of what these individuals could possibly, if you can advise them on people they could reach out to for things, for, as Rob just stated, after the publication, if there's any way that you can help provide them with resources or anything like that, if that's all possible, Brian and Jill, I'd love to be able to have that opportunity for them to at least have that support. I feel like that's probably the only thing we could possibly do in this situation. I'm sorry, I've trained all day and I have very little voice left. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, those of you that protested peacefully, thank you. I saw it. Thank you for protesting this foolishness peacefully. That's what I want to say. It's frustrating, folks. Sir, if you would please not speak, I'm going to have to ask you to be removed from the meeting. I don't think you're hearing.
Can he come to the mic, sir?
He's not. Okay, Commissioner. Yeah, go ahead. Is there on this topic, does any commissioners want to speak to this? Okay, so feel free, go ahead.
I just like to say, the same couple has spread, several falsehoods, not only about the city, but specifically about pretty much everyone up here on the dais. So I understand where you're coming from, maybe not to the exact level, but I just want to echo the comments previously stated by Crystal and Mayor Rue. I'm truly sorry for your loss. I really hope that your loved ones get the justice that they deserve. And I hope that you understand our legal limitations as city commissioners.
I want to commend you for your courage to be here and advocate on behalf of your loved one. I come from a unique position who has lost a 19-year-old daughter. I know that loss. And I want to encourage you to keep finding positive outlets. Move forward. That is what led me to run for office. And I encourage you to keep going and spreading that light. So I would love to connect with you. Thank you.
Dr. Estro.
My heart goes out to you and the pain that you're feeling and have shared with us tonight. As was outlined, the law in this case is very clear. We have no authority to do anything, but you can do something. Get yourself an attorney. You can take legal action against any individual that you think has done you wrong. All you need is to get yourself an attorney. So this comes right back to you. I am not an attorney. I'm giving you non-legal advice, but my best advice to you would be find yourself a good attorney who's willing to take up your case or cases. That will be the best thing you can do.
Thank you, David. One of the reasons we do the open comments of 3 minutes is because we don't have, a lot of people assume we have more authority than you think we do, like what we're talking about. But what we do have is a platform that we allow people to speak to the commission to get these grievances out into the community. So as a commission, that's one of the steps we take to help the community speak out. Okay. And I know that's why you're here, because you've seen that. So, but at the same time, we want to use it for good, but we also get bit by it at the same time. The whole city does. But nevertheless, it is one of the things the commission decides to do, to have 3 minutes per speaker so they can actually air their concerns, grievances, and community concerns. Okay. Thanks for coming tonight. Is there any other comments from the comments shared tonight from the audience, Dr. Estrop?
I just wanted to report to my colleagues and to the community. There is some good news coming out of Washington. The Senate and the House have both agreed to restore some funding for our block grants. The only problem is they agreed on different levels of funding. So now they will have to have a meeting of the House and Senate representatives to iron out these differences in funding levels. And I don't think that has occurred yet. It will occur, but the good news is they both agreed to it. Hopefully they can find a way to restore that, because as we've reported in the past, this was not part of President Trump's budget, but it has been restored by the Senate and the House, but they have to come to agreement so that we can have the federal funds that we use for many of our housing and homeless programs.
Thank you. Before we move on with the legislative agenda, is there any other announcements or comments from commissioners before we continue with the meeting? Okay.
Can I just thank the Kiwanis for the work they did?
Yeah, the
on
Jazz Fest
Jazz
this
and
weekend
Blues.
was
Yes,
fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well attended, beautiful.
Big
Great event.
festival.
One of the many events that happen in our community that people can enjoy. Okay. Anything else? We're going to continue with first readings.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Alexander Chemical Corporation for the purchase of liquid chlorine for use by the city's water treatment plant for an amount not to exceed $123,000. Confirming and approving the execution of a grant agreement for an Ohio Tech Cred grant through the Ohio Department of Development in an amount up to $30,000, and authorizing the city manager, director of finance, and law director to perform all acts and execute all documents considered necessary to fulfill the city's obligations under said grant agreement and to comply with all relevant local, state, and federal legal requirements. Confirming and approving an amendment to the grant agreement with the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Home Investment Partnership American Rescue Plan grant to accept additional funds in an amount not to exceed $2,799 for a total grant amount not to exceed $1,883,704, and authorizing the city manager, law director, and finance director to do all things necessary for the execution of the amendment to the grant agreement and to comply with all relevant local, state, and federal legal requirements. Authorizing the city of Springfield to become a Clean Future Ohio community.
Is there any comments from commissioners on first readings?
Yeah, can you go through a little bit more on that last one on what Power a Clean Future Ohio community is?
Yes, Commission. So the Power a Clean Future Ohio community is a organization that really provides technical assistance to communities like Springfield, other municipalities, and government jurisdictions throughout Ohio, looking at best practices around energy efficiency and alternative energy sources in communities. And so they're really a force multiplier in the sense that they provide that technical assistance aspect, especially as staffs are, smaller and more work being done. It's great to have people that have more expertise in that specific area that can help provide that technical guidance. Our staff met specifically with the executive director and talked with them, and some of the examples, one was just marketing the existing projects that have happened in a community and talking about the importance of those to spread awareness throughout the community of things that can be done, that can even be really low-hanging fruit items, but that can be done to be better for our communities as a whole. Also, they can assist us with streetlight conversion and those types of things that are something very necessary that communities rely on, but also comes at a very hefty price tag. And so, again, this group, in the other piece of technical assistance, is they can help identify grant funding and grant sources. So to leverage additional dollars back to the community to create the energy efficiency and hopefully long-term savings for a community like Springfield, Ohio.
Dr. Estrop?
I'm delighted to hear that we're looking at some way to try to keep the street lighting costs down. You may recall, those of you that follow the consideration or the debate among the city mission, that we were told we were going to experience about an 18% increase in our electric bills, and that's sure happening. So if there's any way we can find to help keep those costs down, I would hope we would explore it. So I want to commend you for pursuing this, and certainly you will have my support.
The comments from the audience on first readings only? Hearing none, we'll move on to second readings.
Rob, we have one.
You want to go right to Miss Claudia? That you may continue with your comment.
I am so, Claudia Fett, South Fountain Preservation. I am so excited to hear that there's a first reading on Power Clean Future Ohio. We are very excited about it. There are many, many good things, and many cities throughout Ohio are part of Power Clean Future Ohio, including Dayton. And this can be a collaborative piece where we can have all kinds of help getting grant money and helping our city save money. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I wish you were more excited about it. Okay, we'll move. Go ahead, please. Comment.
Brian, I was just going to ask a more clarifying question regarding this. Is there any cost to the city to join this organization?
No, there is no cost to the municipalities.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to second readings.
Authorizing the exercise of the city's option to renew the contract with Lorenzo Anderson, doing business as All Things Truck Hauling and Dumpsters LLC for nuisance abatement services as needed by the city for an amount not to exceed $50,000.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I think Dr. Estrop has a question, I'm going to guess, but I do want to say that this is an example of even, we get scrutinized sometimes for being fiduciarily responsible with the finances of the city. We vote on contracts. This is very significant, but we vote on all contracts. So once again, we're accountable for every penny essentially spent in the city, and it comes to us through us in a vote like this. So we're talking junk and trash and weeds and other things like that. Dr. Estrop, you have a question?
A couple of questions. First of all, is this, you look at all four items on second reading, it appears they're all related. So is this a $200,000 endeavor or is 4 times 50 or what's the total cost of this?
Yes, so Commission, the first question about, yes, these 4 items are all related. We do award multiple contracts to multiple vendors, which provides us flexibility and the ability to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the services required in the community. This is related to our junk and trash. I will say, though we do not aspire to utilize all $200,000 in these 4 contracts, the current agreement or the current contracts that are out there, we've utilized approximately $141,000 currently for junk and trash abatement. Now we do, in cases where we can, we do try to assess that back to the property owner because these are these are junk and trash issues related to private property. And so when we can find the person responsible for it, we do try to seek reimbursement of those costs, but it is a very costly program.
And that leads to my second question. Katie, does this come out of the general fund? Is this taxpayer money that we're having to spend?
Yes, Commissioner, this is general fund dollars.
So essentially, all of us are paying a portion of our taxes to pick up people who are dumping on private property or private property owners who are refusing to pick it up.
That is correct.
So we end up paying the bill for it, or it stays out there and then we have all kinds of problems in terms of critters and smell and everything else. So this is a very important function. It does come out of the general fund, and we try to track down the people responsible. I venture to say our vacant property registry has helped.
Yes, certainly programs and tools like the vacant property registry, receivership, the Mow-to-Own program where these vacant lots are being taken by responsible owners and being maintained. That has certainly helped, but again, it has not completely solved the problem.
Thank you.
There are comments from the audience? Mr. Barron?
I too was noticing that that's 200,000 that's going to be spent to clean up. Is there a current list of properties that the public can view? And are you encouraging any of the neighborhood cleanup committees? I know the city has a trailer full of tools and things like that. If a community organization got together and wanted to clean up one in their neighborhood, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Brian?
just a couple, one clarifying point. So the city does not actually have the cleanup trailer. That is Keep Clark County Beautiful, which is part of the Solid Waste District, Clark County Solid Waste District. But they do have a cleanup trailer available. And if those are interested, I please encourage them to reach out to the Clark County Solid Waste District. Certainly we look at all options and abilities. Oftentimes these are the complaints that come in. So you can view or ask for a list of complaints by working with code enforcement that are active violations that we're working through. Some being junk and trash that are cleaned up by these contractors. So they can certainly provide that information to you about the existing ones. But it can vary. One area that one given year is a problem area where we're having issues and challenges. May not be that area, the problem area the next year, but then there's another area. And so we are constantly moving around and trying to address and clean up. Certainly we want to have this cleaned up before it has to get sent to a contractor. We send violation notices to the property owner when property owner information is available to give them the opportunity to clean that up. Again, we go out when those things don't happen or when there's been illegal dumping that has occurred in neighborhoods.
But would the city be in favor of a grassroots organization, if you will, that would help clean up our city? By saying that, I guess this is going to take more than this conversation here, obviously. Is there someone at the city that could guide about grants that are available and things like that for, I'm just thinking of the youth. We could use a lot of the youth.
Actually, if I can answer, there already is an organization, a volunteer organization. Brian mentioned it. Keep Clark County Beautiful. And they work hand in glove with the Clark County Solid Waste District. So the organization is already there. They have litter pickups. They have, as Brian mentioned, a trailer which has lawnmowers, rakes, bags, gloves, everything a person might need or a group to clean up. So I would suggest strongly, if you're interested in bringing more people together, the organization is already there. They just need more people to do the work.
I'll get with you later about exactly how to contact them.
Yeah, I'd be happy to give you the contact information because they're seeking volunteers all the time.
And my last question is, this is second reading, the 200,000 total. Is there an annual budget that the city has that you allot for that? And my question is this even touching it?
Yeah, so we've been tracking, and that's why we have the 4 contracts set at the not to exceed of the $50,000. Like I said, the current contract this year is sitting at about $141,000 that has been spent in these nuisance abatement contracts and services. And so we keep track of that to make sure that we have enough money budgeted to cover those expenses, because if not, then we're coming back having to ask for supplemental appropriations to expand the contract amount.
Right. Do you have the manpower? Does the city have the manpower? I see they're laying people off. I mean, do they have the manpower to take care of this? Is that why the city is subbing this stuff out?
Nuisance abatement services have been something that we have subcontracted out for as many years as I've been here, before too. So it's not the city of Springfield. We are contracting that work out to these 4 different contractors.
And it's just always been done that way?
Yep.
I mean, I was just curious. I know that the city's short on manpower on code enforcement and, building department. I mean, you're short in a lot of places. And I wondered if that's why we're going to 4 different places. Are all 4 of these contractors, are they here? Are they from here?
I believe all 4 of these are local, yes.
Okay. I was just curious. Thank you.
I
Mayor,
would
can I-
just add there as well that this is a competitive procurement process for these
Lowest and best
vendors.
bid.
So this goes out to bid before we award these contracts.
Yeah, I have a question, just kind of a spin-off question that came to mind. When you guys get the calls and you go out to these homes, if you identify someone, like maybe it's our aging population, maybe somebody that's disabled that can no longer kind of do all that work out there, do we have other resources we can reach out to, or how do we handle that?
Yeah, we do typically try to work and understand each individual situation. And you mentioned age. Maybe it's a senior that's unable to do it. We do try to connect them with services like at United Senior Services that offers programming to support seniors in our community. So yes, we do try. If we can identify and work with the property owner, we try to connect them to resources that are available throughout the community.
Thank you.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the exercise of the city's option to renew the contract with Gary Gilbert Jr., doing business as Gilbert's Lawn Service for nuisance abatement services as needed by the city for an amount not to exceed $50,000.
So
I'll move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners? From the audience? Go
I
ahead,
do
Ms.
have a
Crystal.
comment really quickly. I do want to say that 3 of these people I know for certain are Springfield born and raised citizens. So I want to add that there. I also appreciate the city, not that you have anything to do with it, but I love to see the diversity in those people who are going for these contracts. So thank you for ensuring that that's there as well.
Comments from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the exercise of the city's option to renew the contract with OMAC Hauling Incorporated for nuisance abatement services as needed by the city for an amount not to exceed $50,000.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the exercise of the city's option to renew the contract with Samuel E. Whitaker Sr., doing business as Whitaker Hauling for nuisance abatement services as needed by the city for an amount not to exceed $50,000.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes. We'll continue with emergency ordinances.
Confirming purchases and the obtaining of services for the city and providing for payments therefore and declaring an emergency therein.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston? Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Providing for the issuance and sale of notes in the maximum aggregate principal sum of $819,100 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to pay the cost of constructing sidewalks, curbs, and gutters comprised in the 2025-2 Sidewalk Curb and Gutter Program at various locations throughout the city and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with A to Z Property Maintenance LLC for the Selma Road and East Main Street Sidewalk Curb and Gutter Program for an amount not to exceed $1,281,411.50 and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a grant agreement to accept a sodium chloride reduction grant in an amount up to $75,000 from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency to be used for the purchase of brine making equipment. Authorizing the city manager, finance director, and law director to perform all acts and execute all documents they consider necessary to fulfill the city's obligations under said grant and to comply with all relevant local, state, and federal legal requirements, confirming and approving related expenditures incurred from May 1, 2025, and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners? Dr. Estrop?
I believe this item and the next item, 210-25, are related. I was wondering, Brian, if you could give us a little more information about you and Katie, perhaps, or Chris.
Actually, we'll ask Chris Moore, our service director, to talk about this.
So the grant item is a $75,000 grant. It's part of the state of Ohio's H2 Ohio water protection program. So this specific element is chloride reduction, and it is municipalities can apply to figure out ways to use less road salt. So that leads us into the next item, where we'd be asking you to approve the purchase of a brine making machine that would allow us to add the salt, add the water, mix them together to give us a liquid additive that we can put on our salt, make it go farther as we use it. And then we also have situations where we will spray straight brine on the roads to get rid of snow and ice.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. The comments from the audience? Aaron?
How long will it take to recoup the cost of the equipment with the money they save by doing the brine? I'm just curious.
We anticipate being able to use roughly 25% less salt. So
What's our annual salt contract?
that's where things get a little squirrely. If we did the math and said that it's $70 a ton and we use about 3,200 tons, we can work backwards from there. We have not done the math on the return on investment because we know there is cost savings and we know there is environmental savings. But as far as the return on investment for our $22,000, I don't have the numbers on that because it varies year to year. It could be one storm, it could be two winters.
Depending on the cost of salt.
The cost of salt and the amount of salt we use. We've had winters where we use up to 6,200 tons and some where we use under 2,000 tons. So it really depends.
So
and
if it's a big salt year, it'll pay for itself quicker.
Pretty much.
Yes, absolutely. In a cold winter, it'll pay for itself quicker too, but I don't want either of those. Yeah.
I hope it takes 10 years to pay for it.
Yeah.
Comments from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the purchase and installation of a BrineX Advantage brine maker from Henderson Products Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $92,849.40 through Sourcewell pursuant to the Sourcewell Contract Purchasing Cooperative Program in accordance with the provisions of Section 9.48 of the Ohio Revised Code and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there comments from commissioners? From the audience? I do have a question. Will this cause less damage on the roads ultimately? Less salt, less damage over time?
It will cause less damage to the environment, less damage to the runoff does not have the
same
concentration of salt. And when I set down an average winter of 3,300 tons at $70 a ton, this would pay for itself in 2 years. That covers the entire grant cost, yes.
Okay, thank you. That was a good question. Thank you for answering that. Okay. Roll call?
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
amending ordinance number 24-177, which authorized the acceptance of an energy efficiency and conservation block grant from the United States Department of Energy to correct the amount due to an error in the notification of funding and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. You want to explain this, please?
Yeah, so these energy efficiency and conservation block grants come from the Department of Energy. Since I've been here in 2006, the program's been funded twice. And so this is an actual, let's call it a monopoly bank error in our favor, where they transpose numbers and we actually have $9,000 additional in funding towards the program, in which we use for energy efficiency upgrades to city facilities.
Okay. Comments from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Confirming and approving change order number 3 to the contract between the city and National Water Services for the well pump cleaning and rehabilitation at the water treatment plant to increase the contract in an amount not to exceed $32,884 for a total amount not to exceed $1,009,177, authorizing the city manager to execute said change order number 3 and declaring an emergency therein.
Before we vote on that, I think we need to go back. We skipped the firehouse. If you go back and read 28722, please.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to upset the firefighters because
Yep.
everybody loves the firefighters, right?
We meet again.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Confirming and approving change order number 6 to the agreement between the city and Marker Incorporated, doing business as Marker Construction, for the construction of a new fire station to be located on South Limestone Street, to decrease the agreement in an amount not to exceed $3,101.45 for a total amount not to exceed $7,216,217.54, and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Chief, will this center the 8 on Station 8, or will it continue to be off center? Doesn't matter. I assume you're going to correct it at one point. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Confirming and approving change order number 3 to the contract between the city and National Water Services for the well pump cleaning and rehabilitation at the water treatment plant, to increase the contract in an amount not to exceed $32,884 for a total amount not to exceed $1,009,177, authorizing the city manager to execute said change order number 3 and declaring an emergency therein.
Move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Wait, Dr. Estrop?
Katie, is this being charged to the water fund or is this a general
This will be the water fund.
water fund? So the taxpayers are not paying for this, or will not. The people who use water will pay for it on their bill.
Correct. Ratepayers who are utilizing our water, sewer, stormwater service would be paying for this.
Okay, thank you.
Comments from the audience? Yes, go ahead, Wes.
I've been wondering about, when is there a public accounting of how the water and sewer systems are funded? We get the city budget, so forth. Is there a comparable reporting that's done with the water and sewer services that are provided?
So the annual budget that's presented includes all funds. So that includes our water and sewer funds as well. So there's a public hearing for that, in addition to 2 public meetings with commissioners in November as well.
It's broken out on a separate chart that Katie would present during that time.
So, and then when we are looking at passing on rate increases to customers, we also have that presentation as well to discuss those rate increases and explain why those need to occur.
So it's a part of the larger budget or city financial reporting.
Yes, but
Yes.
presented separately at the same meeting.
Yes, and those funds are included in our annual audit as well. That encompasses all city funds.
Okay, thank you.
If I could add, and all city funds, Katie, are audited yearly
That is correct, Commissioner.
and by the state of Ohio, who chooses a firm to represent the state.
Correct. The Ohio Auditor of State will either select based on their manpower to audit us and come in-house, or they will bid that contract out to an independent public accounting firm.
And so part of that audit would also include the water fund.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Confirming and approving change order number 1 to the contract between the city and A&B Asphalt Corporation for the 2025 paving project to increase the contract in an amount not to exceed $135,025.40 for a total amount not to exceed $1,876,061.90, authorizing the city manager to execute said change order number 1 and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? Dr. Estrop?
I was wondering if perhaps Chris could give us an update on asphalt prices this year, because in the past, I know they've just been going through the roof. And then also, where are we on our paving program this year? As I know the weather hasn't always been cooperative this year, so are we 50% complete or less or more? Where are we?
Asphalt prices remained relatively flat this year. And really, I think more importantly at this point, concrete prices have decreased. We've received some very favorable prices on concrete. Our paving programs are, right now, they're awarded, they're funded, and we're chomping at the bit. There is no asphalt going down. It's right around the corner. They're moving equipment in. And when it happens, there's going to be a lot of activity all at once. So everything's in place. We're waiting for it to go down.
So you've got all the paperwork done and we're waiting for the bids to come back, so. we
Bids
can
are in.
award
It's
them.
This
just
is
the
approved.
contracts awarded.
Contracts
It's just
awarded.
waiting for them to mobilize and start.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Comments from the audience? Baron?
I'll wait until the very last one to be read. It, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 emergency ordinance, by way of explanation, if you don't mind, on the record, emergency ordinances, it says the following emergency legislation is being presented for the first time. The city manager recommends passage upon approval.
Baron, are you asking about this specific emergency ordinance? This specific one? This one only?
This one and all the other
No,
emergency ordinances.
this one only is what we're talking about. It's the only
Okay,
thing
why-
on the floor.
Okay, I apologize. I should have got up
Yeah,
every
I agree.
time then and asked the
No,
question.
not every time. This would be a good place for your 3-minute comments to talk about why and how do we use emergency ordinances? Because it's a general comment. What we're asking and what's on the table has to be discussed only at this time. So it would just be this ordinance on the asphalt on the paving project 2025.
Okay, I'd like to know why is it an emergency ordinance?
Why is this emergency ordinance?
This is an emergency, Commissioners, because we cannot pay this vendor until we adjust this purchase order. So the reason that it is an emergency is so that we can preserve that vendor relationship and make that timely payment to our vendor once we increase that PO.
Okay, so it wasn't lack of planning or something like that. That's
No.
just how it's done.
Sometimes these come
Oftentimes
in.
you'll see change orders are as the emergency ordinances
Right.
because we get out there and we can do our best estimates, but until you're out there in the road, you do not know. You tear up a street and you see,
Right.
oh, the base needs repaired. So then that's an additional quantity that maybe was not planned for with the original bid amount. And so we have to adjust that and we come before commission before they can do that, so that we can pay them and so forth. And I just overall for emergencies, each and every item that is presented from a department as an emergency actually comes through my office first and has to receive approval before it's even granted as an emergency. And it's not in lack of planning and planning the time for an item
And I knew
is
that,
not going to track.
but several people didn't, and I thought, wow, we could clear that up by stating
Yep.
it on the record, and when somebody says, I'll go watch the last meeting.
Yep,
and
certainly.
It'll be explained to you. Thank you.
I would just add there as well that if you go out and look at our agenda again, the Friday before a commission meeting, there's a large packet that has several items for each item. And in that there's a request for emergency action for each of these emergencies. So you'll be able to see what a department has spelled out for the reason for that emergency by looking at that.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brown? Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes. New items?
We have an add-on consenting to the appointment of Timothy Volk to the Airport Advisory Board.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners besides appreciation for Timothy being willing to serve? Comments from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So
So,
moved.
so moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.